Good morning, my name is Amy. Welcome to Home Sweet Gardens. This week we're going to be showing the video tour week 9 of a few things that have already been harvested for the year, and then what the plans are for putting into the bed now that it's empty. Going to be looking at some things that are kind of getting towards the end of their cycle and things that are just beginning. If you are new to our channel, welcome. I try to put on a garden view once a week, a tour, and then other videos throughout the week of just different interesting topics that I think you might enjoy. If there's anything that you are interested or would like me to do or do a video on, please link it in the comments below and I would love to do it for you. I'd love for you to subscribe to our channel, give a thumbs up if you like the video. If you're not new and you're returning, welcome back, and we love to have you and love to hear from you. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so we've gotten about 5/10, half an inch of rain in the last day from between yesterday and today. So everything's pretty wet. Just in the nick of time, really. Things were just starting to dry out a little bit. People say that having a container garden or above ground beds, that they dry out sooner. I don't find that to be true. I checked the beds when I thought it was pretty dry. Still very wet, so I guess maybe I'm just fortunate. I'm not sure. Okay, this is one of the climbing roses that I had purchased, and as you can see, it's getting flowers, blooms out and starting to bloom there too. I put up some little garden ribbon to try and help get it to the trellis, so it's doing really well. My corn, it was looking really puny, really nasty for a while. But it's starting to turn green again, starting to look a lot better. And then of course these mammoth sunflowers are just going to get absolutely gigantic. I'm so excited. Mammoth. My Roselle Reds, these get very tall. They are used, the leaves are used for tea. And then the flowers are a brilliant burgundy red, and you can use them to dye things like your teas and whatnot, or you can just use it on fabrics and stuff. Elephant ears that I had just kind of placed in there. I wasn't sure if they were going to live, but they look pretty good. Alright, this is the rose bush that I had accidentally hit with a lawnmower, or I didn't really hit it, but I bumped it. But it's doing well. It's nice and healthy, so that's good. Okay. My wildflower mix here, doing very well. These are starting to get big. Looks like I just sprinkled it through, so it's funny because you can see where and then we got a lot of rain, so you can see where all of the seeds kind of settled all in this area, whereas in this side there's not quite as many, but it should fill out and look pretty good. Okay. My pear tree lost a branch this last week, and you can see here, it is just absolutely loaded with pears. Some of the branches are really just hanging. You can see that one right there is hanging really, really low. So hopefully it can hang in there and it won't have too much more damage. The storm we had last night, it was pretty bad as far as wind, but I don't see more branches down, so that's good. Okay, my Texas early onions are all starting to lay down. They're starting to get a little bigger. You can kind of see some bulbs peeking through. So I'm really anxious to see what they taste like. If any of you have been watching my video or know me personally, you know I'm not exactly what you'd call very patient. So I hope they come up soon, because I can't stand it. I want to eat one. Alright, my little sunflower in the corner there is doing really well. My lettuce, this is all clearly bolted, so that means it's going to seed. Right here you can see at the very tall, see how tall they get, and they'll end up putting flowers on, and so then you will save the seeds out of this flower, and that's how you get seeds from them. And if you've ever planted lettuce before, you know that the seeds are really, really small, so I'll have to really keep an eye on it. Okay, here's some more sunflowers in the bottom of my bed. That one right there, you could tell was really fighting for competition for sun when the carrots were here. Last week you could see that the carrots, it was full of carrots. I have since harvested all of them with the exception of these 3 that I am allowing to go to seed. And if you've never seen a carrot flower, they do have wild carrots. Anyway, this is a carrot flower, and by next week's tour, hopefully it'll open and you'll get to see. This one's getting a lot more on it. It's pretty windy, so I'm hoping the sound isn't too bad. Anyway, so I've cleared out all of the carrots out of this bed because they were done for the year. I got only about 6 or 8 servings worth to put up. I blanch them and then put them in my food saver bags and freeze them, slice them. Anyway, so they're all done. So I'm going to be putting in beans in here because I can do another set of beans. And I'm going to be planting dragon tongue beans. Now, with that being said, I have a confession to make. All this time, I have been calling my other beans that I'm growing dragon tongue beans because I thought that's what I had planted. And it wasn't until they started coming in that I realized that's not what they were. They are called purple queen bush beans. This is a purple queen bush bean. Okay, and even though it says bush bean, they do still kind of trail. So apparently what happened is I had 2 different kinds. I had the purple queen bush bean, and then I had the dragon tongue beans. And in the last minute, I decided I better plant the purple queen because they were the older seeds. But when I labeled it, I wrote the dragon tongue. See, I'm still confused now. I wrote dragon tongue and I stick it on the label. So even the most thought out, well-planned garden sometimes has faux pas in it. That would be mine. So again, purple queen bush bean. And now I'm going to plant in the open space there the dragon tongue bush beans. Yes, what a mouthful. So I apologize for saying the wrong thing all this time. I obviously got myself very confused. I was going to show you here. I've got one clematis flower. Remember I told you I wasn't sure if this one was going to live. It was looking pretty puny. Well, there's a leaf. This one's doing really well. This one I planted here. It's climbing very well, but it's not putting any flowers on it just yet, but it's still young, but it's still growing really well too, so I'm okay with that. Okay, and then this one over here, I'm trying not to turn too much to make you sick. There's that one. Oh, a little spider on it. People are so scared of spiders and snakes and all that kind of stuff, and they don't really bother me. Spiders aren't going to mess with you too much. I don't particularly want to wake up to them on my face, but they're just as important to our gardens as anything else is. I used to be scared of bees and wasps. Oh, and then I started gardening and it hasn't gotten so bad now. So here's my one. Oh, look at that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? And if you ask me what kind it is, I have no idea. I just know it's absolutely beautiful. And it smells great. Oh, got a little bit of wind damage on that. And then my yellow, got one opening and 2 more getting ready to. Isn't that just absolutely gorgeous? I need to do some weed trimming around them. And then of course my ever old faithful red. Got one here, got one here. There's several blooms on it. It's doing really well. It is about the pickiest. I call it my drama queen rose because just the least little bit of dry and it wilts all down. Oh, here are my chimes. Aren't they beautiful? My astables, they bring in lots of fancy bugs. The bees absolutely love them. Okay, now here, oh, it's okay, Mama. I doubt you can see it from here. I don't know if I'll be able to get you in close. Let me pardon my zooming here. Do you see her? It's okay, girl. So that is my friendly little house finch that has babies. So we're gonna go back around this way because I don't want to make her get out of her nest unless I absolutely have to. Not to mention the fact that she just absolutely screams at me the whole time I'm out here. If she ends up having to leave her nest, she just screams at me the whole time, gets very mad. So we'll go ahead and just let her be over there. She's in the grapes, which means I probably won't get any grapes again this year because she'll probably eat them all, but that's okay. I love having the birds. So here's a close-up of some of my grapes. They're doing really, really well. Starting to get bigger. I think they'll end up being bigger this year than they normally are, and because I had cut them back so much. So I think that was a good call. See, YouTube helps a lot. My shade garden, of course, they're doing really well. Oh look, this one's getting ready to put on little flowers. There's some there too. Yep, look really well. I haven't decided if I want to paint these milk jugs or if I want to just let them be the way they are. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? Okay, so my Brussels sprouts are doing very well. They are starting to put on their little bitty heads. So that's good. It takes them quite a while, I know, but they're filling in nicely. My chives are doing very well. Of course, the herbs are doing great. Let's see. My cucumber are doing well. These are more of a pickling cucumber, and I said I wasn't going to plant them last year, and I intended to get some like straight eights or something like that are more for slicing and eating, and I did not, and I ended up planting these again. They're not my favorite by any means, but I've already got them in. I thought about ripping them out and putting in something new, but I don't know if I have enough time, and I don't know, I hate ripping them out because they're living and make me feel bad. But as you can see, I've got one right there. So the pickling cucumbers are really stickery, and they don't have as good of a taste as what your straight eights do, I think. My beets, I have picked out several of the beets. I don't like them very large. My mom says, oh, you're wasting it. You're not letting them get very big. Well, but if they get too big, I won't eat them, so then they really are a waste. So I tend to pick them young. I like when I say young, I mean like a double the size of a marble, a large marble size. I don't like them very big, and then I put them in my vinegar and sugar and do like a pickling. So, and I can just snack on them. So I tend to pick them very young. My kohlrabi, I couldn't take it, and I did finally pick one the other day, and they're really good. Hold on. I don't know where you're going, camera. Okay. So I did finally pick one of them, and it was really good. Let me see if I can get in here and show you one. And there we go. See that? They look really good. That one's not quite ready, but I'm excited. I can't wait to get some. My zucchini are looking fantastic. I've got several that are going to need to be harvested today. After I did that zucchini video, the above ground gardening video, which I'll put a link to on the bottom in the comments down here in the description. But this one, actually the tape broke, and I came out and it was laying over, and I had to mend it, doctor it real quick. So it's kind of ironic that right after I did the video it did that. So you want to check it every day, and if it does that, if the tape or whatever you're using fails and it breaks, just pick it back up, put it back on there, and you'll be fine. My squash, these are the scalloped green squash, scalloped yellow squash. They're not quite ready. They're getting large. Starting to put on quite a few. I found, and there's been several people on a lot of my gardening channels that I belong to that have been saying the same thing, that they have all either male or all female flowers, and that they're having pollination issues, and I find I am too. So I don't know if it's just the weird spring we've had or what, but keep an eye on it. But I may end up having to do some hand pollination, and I've never had to do that before. I've never had any trouble, so kind of odd. Okay, our peas, they're starting to get towards the end. You can see they're getting kind of brown towards the bottom. Some of them are still green, getting different shoots and whatnot. It's been, this week hasn't been too bad, but it's been in the upper 90s. And peas just really don't like it hot. So we're getting close to what I consider the end of their cycle. So I'm getting as many of them as I can out of it. But the Asian long beans are really starting to come into their own. You can see that they're getting pretty big. And again, this is the first time I've ever grown them. And there's my lettuce that has bolted, and we'll be getting, oh, look at that. You see that? Those are seeds. I kind of know what it looks like. It'll come up in this big ball, and you'll save them. Anyway, okay, so the green bean, or the long beans, as I was saying, they come up with this tendril right in the middle, and they go up, and they're stickery, almost like a texture, like a sandpaper, and then they wind all the way up. Normally I'd have them on this trellis, but I'd already planted peas here. So I put the string up for them to climb up this string and then go up to the trellis where the peas aren't on, so that they could then continue to go over the top. But I didn't know that they had that little stickery, if you will, kind of middle climber there that just catches onto that that string and goes right up the string. See? And it's stickery. It's really weird feeling. And that one, this one has grown. It's here now. It was, let's see. I'll get back here far enough. Okay. So it's here now. It was here yesterday. Swear to you. I'm not making that. Those things are growing so fast. It's crazy. Okay, my okra, you can see that, got those 6 plants. They're starting to get some blossoms and some okra on them. Oh, there's one right there. You can see it by my finger, right there. So, again, like I've told you guys before, I've not had it before. Never planted it, so we'll see. So I'll either have lots of okra that I love, or I'll have lots of okra to give away. Either way, it will get used. My little mini peppers that I planted, they're still, they're hanging in there. I got some banana peppers. I've got one on it right there. You can see it, so cute. My one artichoke plant that I've got, yep, it's doing really well. It really loves the heat. Not the rain so much, but it loves. Okay, so my butternut squash are doing very well. I had one on it that was about 3.5 inches, and I ended up having to cut it off because it wilted. But I do have many more on it. You can see there's one here. There's lots of flowers, lots of blooms everywhere. So if it ends up putting fruit on all of the blooms that it has, I'm gonna be able to like build a wall with them or something. It's just insane how many there are on it. So hopefully, and I've got 4 plants, 2 on this side. It's so strange because you see how large those are. Then you come over here to this side and they're not near as large. So it's very strange. I still don't know why. My pepper plants, I got one off of it yesterday, and here's another one here. It's so strange to me because these are supposed to, let's see, tags. These are Cubanelles, which are sweet peppers. And so there's one there. And I just had one yesterday. I cut it off and it tasted delicious. So very yummy. They look really, really good. As far as flowers and whatnot, they're starting to, my flowers starting to come in, my marigolds. They look absolutely fabulous. This container just filled in beautifully. My catnip, as you know, the cat tried to destroy it. Anyway, it's recovered nicely, so she was very hard on it. So it's done really well. Okay, so that's all for this week's tour. It's pretty short. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on things that I've already been talking about that really haven't changed a lot. The biggest things I've seen a difference in is the okra has seemed to have doubled in size. The peas are starting to die out a little bit. My Asian long beans, I have this overwhelming fear that I've planted way too many and they're just going to take over and be one giant monster. But that's okay. Hopefully I like them. Carrots are all done. I've gotten them all taken out with the exception of those 3 that I'm allowing to go to seed. I'm going to be putting in the dragon tongue beans this week and making sure that I label it appropriately and continue to harvest the purple queen beans, which if you have a chance to get some of the purple queen bush beans, they're really cool. They're that deep, deep purple like I showed you, and when you snap them open, they're bright green on the inside. When you cook them, you can literally see the purple changing to green. The water is like a neon green. Very strange. I absolutely love the oddities, which is why I'm always planting something different in my garden, because I think it's really cool. But yeah, when you cook them, they change from that purple to that green, which is really kind of cool. Flavor wise, texture, they're pretty good. They're really relatively smooth. They're nice and soft, but not mushy. They have more of a nutty type flavor, but it's mild. So I really like them. I will probably plant them again next year as well, just because I like the flavor of them. And the conversation piece of it is pretty cool too. A friend of mine gave me a recipe for pickling beans, and she's got to write it down for me, but you eat them cold, you don't cook them. So that would be really cool to have something like these purple queens, because they're purple. They stay purple and then they're green on the inside, so it would make it a really neat kind of dish to have those colors in there. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed our video. If you like to give a thumbs up, again, subscribe to us. We'd love to have you. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please put them in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll try to respond as soon as I can. If there's any other topics you'd like me to go over, let me know, and I'd be happy to try and get that for you. And if I don't know or don't have information on that topic, I will do some research and get you some links to some people that will have those type of answers for you, because there's nothing worse than trying to learn something and not being able to find the answer for you. So again, thanks for coming. Love to have you. Stay safe and happy gardening.